Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena and back to another Jumpstart Historic Horizons video. Today, hopefully, we're going to have a better run than In the Machine Kiora, because, oh good lord. For you, that was kind of like a casual walk in the park where occasionally I got my foot stuck between the cracks. For me, it was constant face planting and yeah, just wasn't pleasant. Cut out a lot of losing with that little combination, so let's resign that one. Let's send off for another one and see how well we can do. Oh god, why is it take me back? I don't know. Alright, so 2,000 gold in, 2 wins, gets us 2 rares. We're going to be playing until we get those 2 rares. Oh my. Enchanted or on the draw. Why is it Omen of the Sun as a front-facing card? Surely it's the Sithis, or whatever her name is, the 2-mana Enchantress lady. I absolutely adore enchantment decks, as many of you might know. So, like, this is just the easiest pick that I've ever had in my entire life. I highly doubt we're going to see anything like on the draw turning us into a 4-color pile, so we're going to see like a green and a white one if the system that I think is in place is indeed in place. So, would you look at that? Oh. Serra's Realm and Freylease are the ones that I'm kind of thinking of. I'm thinking enchantments, angels, they kind of go a little bit hand in hand, you know, with Sigil of the Empty Throne. I don't know if it's actually in this set. I'm pretty sure it isn't. I don't really know what the enchantment payoffs are, but yeah, I'm kind of here for Serra's Realm. Because that sounds cool. Serra's Enchanted Realm. I think we get Serra the Planeswalker, which again confuses me why we've got Serra Angel on the front instead of Serra, but yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with. And let's have a look, shall we? I always like to look at our rares and see what we've got available. So, Serra the Benevolent. Well, let me move my cards around, unfortunately. A 4-mana Mythic Planeswalker, 4 loyalty, tick up for 2 creatures with flying, get +1/+1 until the end of the turn. -3, make a 4/4 angel creature token with flying and vigilance, and then -6, you get an emblem with, if you control a creature, damage that would reduce your life total to less than 1, reduces it to 1 instead. So as long as we've got a creature in play, we can't die. I imagine there's a couple of pack combinations that don't really appreciate that emblem. A lot of the removal in these sets seems to be like lockdown, pacifism effects, or power and toughness manipulation kind of thing. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with Serra here. Anything else of note? Beginning of each combat, if you have more life total than your opponent, it gains double strike. That's a win more, and I'm here for it. We got the Serra Angel. Got On Serra's Wings. No Sithis, apparently. Our rare is going to be Sanctum Weaver. 2-mana, 0/2. Enchantment creature. Tap to add 1 mana of any color, where X... Oh, X mana of any one color, where X is the number of enchantments you control. So it's a scaling little bit of ramp there. Yeah, I mean, this looks kind of fine. So our digital-only card is going to be Leonin Sanctifier. I do actually have a constructed deck with this card lined up, so it's nice to pick this one up. 2-mana, 2/1 with lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature in your hand. It perpetually gains lifelink, so never loses the lifelink ability. That's actually super useful in a very particular combo. Reprobation, 2-mana enchantment aura. Creature loses all abilities and is a coward with base power and toughness. I'm gonna have fun memeing with that. Alright, trying to think. Oh, this must be the enchantments digital only card, since Sanctifier's in here as the white. Angels is mono white, so enters the battlefield. Choose a creature in your hand, it perpetually gains +2/+2. And I think that is all that needs to be said, to be honest. Yeah. Got some expensive stuff, some blossoming sands, tranquil thickets, and secluded steppes as our mana fixing. And this Segovian Angel. It's a pretty cool card. Yep, pretty happy with this one. If you do enjoy the content, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and without further ado, let's continue. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty, we got a turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 play. So pretty good. We're going to keep this one. We've got our Cowardice card. Love to see it. A little bit sad that our Sanctifier card gives this one lifelink. Flying Vigilance lifelink seems like it would have been cool, but I guess I can give this lifelink instead, or maybe a top deck along the way. Definitely not going to mess around and... Enter the battlefield, choose one. Put a counter on the Sandstep Outcast or create a spirit. Pretty interesting looking art. Interesting. I guess what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go Sanctifier on the Outcast. Charger on the Outcast. Play the Outcast. That seems like fun. So let's get in for one. Let's do that. Sanctifier up the Outcast, so this now has lifelink for the rest of time. Really good. And then we're going to give it +2/+2. So make it a 4/3, and then probably put a counter on it as well. Make it a very large creature. The only issue we have is the Plaguecrafter's Familiar, which has Death Touch, and has given Death Touch to the Llanowar Visionary. Maybe we should have given it to that. I don't know, this looks like we're going to be evoking it, to be honest. Well, I guess we can see if we can offer a couple of trades. Like, I'm happy to trade any of these creatures with my Sanctifier. Opponent isn't. It's a good sign. Put something in the way. Make this a bit larger. Now it's a 4/3 lifelinker. It'll be a 5/4 with the counter. I was hoping they'd trade at least one there, because if I can get rid of one Death Toucher, I can give the other 0 power, and then the Death Touch doesn't matter, short of them having a pump spell. So I believe that rats is a theme. Could be wrong about that. Probably wrong about that. Blightkeeper. So that's going to be trading with my Angel, no doubt. Not too much I can do about that. I can evoke this. And the evoke has to be done at the same time I would cast the Solar Migration, so I have to do it sorcery speed. Yeah, I mean, I think we're just sending it again. Blightkeeper no doubt blocks the Angel. We'll make some birds. I'll probably save this until I can play it alongside a 2-drop. You know, that works for me. They didn't actually block my flyer, which does surprise me. I really thought that would be a line that they would take. But let's have some more flyers. Pretty bird tokens. Very nice. Draw a card and lose 1 life. It's an unearthed creature. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. When it enters the battlefield, support 2. Put a counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. Oh, that's huge. So let's make... Well, the Outcast just trades with these First Sphere Gargantua now, and we don't really want it to trade because of the Unearth. So I might as well just, like, lock it down completely. Support 2. Now we've got an attack through the Blightkeeper. I think I'm still even in light of that, going to offer a trade, but just for the aim of being aggressive, I think is worthwhile. Opponent's so against blocking. Do they actually want to use the 8 mana ability here? Pay 1 life, sack a creature, put a -1/-1 counter on a creature. Alright. Maybe that's why they wanted to keep it. Sack fodder for Yawgmoth. An update is available, thank God. The game's rather broken right now, so that's nice. Yeah, I will say, as much as I am, loses all abilities, that seems like a thing that I would like to apply to Yawgmoth. As much as I am enjoying Jumpstart, it's a little bit harder than the OG Jumpstart to really get an idea for what all the packets are. Like, usually when you had, like, new basic lands and things like that, you could really tell what you were going up against and play around it. This is only my second game with it, mind you, but it's only another creature, just checking. So Yawgmoth's a coward. But yeah, I don't really know what the packet themes are right now. It's like they're gonna kill my Segovian Angel by sweeping basically their entire board. I'm totally fine with that. So we're going to get in for 2. So the way Unearth works is it gets reanimated, gains haste, and then gets exiled on the end step. So this is going to be a 3 mana draw a card, lose a life attack with 5 power, which is totally fine. Part of me wonders actually whether or not I should just make the Spirit token. I think because Yawgmoth is currently locked down, that works for me. And that turns my Air Force into a 2-turn clock. Turns my Air Force into a 6-turn clock. Fair play. Davriel's Withering. Freylease. Alright, so 1/2 is definitely a Freylease packet. The Llanowar Elves, the Llanowar Visionary, and the Freylease. I just don't know what the black side is, to be honest. You are going after my boys. So we're going to do this. We're going to pay 2 and exile. I don't believe it matters. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we have absolutely no graveyard interaction, so that's just kind of a free roll for us. We've got 2-turn clock back on the table. I'm not going to offer a Plaguecrafter to our opponent in their graveyard, just in case they have reanimation spells. Again, I don't really know. Not at the stage where I can tell that. I mean, maybe the pack is, like, just Yawgmoth. It's just like a nice mid-rangey themed pack with no real theme to it. So I think this seeked out an elf card, sorted out. If they have a reachy elf, that would help them. That is not a reach-based elf. This one has Kicker, but wasn't going to be useful there. Yeah, I think we're on the plan of dead next turn if you don't have targeted removal. Got 3 blockers in the form of Destiny Spinner activations as well, seeking an elf.
Join the fight, my kin.
Needs to be a good one. We're at 24, we're not at fear of dying to our opponent's board state here. They're going down to 2, which is the same as being at 3. Cycles for another answer. And I'm guessing we're at the point where they need it. 3 mana is really the sweet spot for most removal. Back to 4 though. And let's see. Interesting choice of attack. I'm going to take it. On the off chance that they did draw removal, I would like the potential to swing back with the most amount of attackers. They do have a reach creature. Alright. So they are going to live. Alright. Goodbye, Gargantua. Draw a forest. So our lands are only 1/1s. I think I'm just gonna attack in with the Valkyrie again, let the Lookout block, and then have them dead again next turn. Unless they draw removal. Once again, leaving everything back to block. We have got the Wild Heart Invoker, which really complicates things. Probably means that I do want to actually block with the Outcast. It's 8 mana +5/+5 and trample. I don't want to highlight it just in case I remind my opponent that that ability exists. Goodbye, Freylease. Alright, we killed Freylease. Very nice. They've got no elf cards left? I think that's what that minus meant. I didn't see a card go into their hand, so that's a really good sign. And yeah, we're just gonna... Well, we're gonna leave back a lethal threat here as well. Gain the 4, which I think should keep us completely alive. +5/+5 and trample, yeah. And that'll do it. Fantastic. I got a little bit nervous there, because as you all well know, math is for blockers, and, well, I could have done a little bit of math, I suppose. But, yeah, I chose to break the cardinal rule of doing math when blocks are declared. I just blocked, assumed I would live. We went down to 2. A little bit too close for comfort there. Got a little bit nervous. But yeah, I think holding back Destiny Spinner, assuming that we live, is definitely the correct play, because now they need a blocker to block the Destiny Spinner, and I've got the Valkyrie, so they need an answer to both. That's the idea, at least. So yeah, a little bit of a tight clenching kind of situation there. Let's have a look what our rare is going to be. Da-da-da-da! It is Restoration Angel, an on-theme reward. 4 mana 3/4 with flash and flying. When Restoration Angel enters the battlefield, you may exile a non-angel creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under your control. So this is a really cool combo card. In Modern, it's used with Kiki-Jiki, but we don't have Kiki-Jiki. So, yeah, I don't know what this one's going to do. I imagine there's probably something combo-y that's very useful for this. We do have Soul Herder as well, so it's a pretty nice Soul Herder target for the extra flicker. But yeah, just an overall well-functioning angel there. Maybe, like, Historic Angels might be a thing. I don't know if this would necessarily enable it, but that 1 mana Vigilance one could certainly go a long way to do that. But yeah, pretty sweet, and on to the next one. Alrighty, on the play. This hand looks sweet. We got 3 mana. We need 4, admittedly, but we got our Serra, we got our youthful Valkyrie. We could give it lifelink as well, and this one's an ever-growing one. This one's I don't know about. What's this one do? Enters the battlefield, you may put target enchantment card from your graveyard on top of your library. If you do, gain life equal to its mana value. Fair enough. So we can rebuy, like, our pacifism effects or something like that. It's a 3/4. I could actually give it perpetual lifelink. That means even if it doesn't get the ETB value, which at this stage doesn't look like that's going to be the case, it can at the very least be a decent body on board. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, let's do that. We do have Omen of the Sun. We can sack that to put it in the graveyard for the band storyteller. Alright, so they're on the draw, I think is their theme. So they're all about drawing 2 and making fairy tokens, which is definitely going to be an annoyance. +1, flying, vigilance, lifelink. Which one's better? Omen of the Sun or Youthful Valkyrie? I think Youthful Valkyrie, because if we can get the Serra down, we can use the pump, maybe. Can actually pump up and then immediately emblem, which is kind of cute. I'm excited to play around with Serra. I'm sure there's a couple of matchups in this format where that emblem just wins us the game. So our opponent passes. We did not draw a land, which is unfortunate. I'm assuming they actually just have like a Thrill of Discovery or whatever it's called. Something to make a fairy token, which is why the Sanctifier is a bad attack. I guess it's not a terrible attack. A 2-1 lifelinker for a 1-1 flyer is just about an even trade, I think. But no reason to even offer that. Yeah, there's a Lonely Sandbar. They have to draw 2 for the turn to trigger Improbable Alliance. So another Cycler, there we go. Creates the fairy token. I doubt they block here. It would be a very bad block. This only hits creatures. I could end step Omen of the Sun to potentially just stop a counterspell, maybe. Guess if I'm not baffling ending, then I might as well offer that trade. 2 1-1s for a counterspell. Loch Dragon. See what I did there? And it attacks or enters the battlefield, discard and draw. So that will trigger the Improbable Alliance. Opponent's in a really good spot now. They've kind of got their engine going, and I do not have an answer for it currently. So let's gain some 1-1s. Well, I was going to say this game lives and dies based off of the next land drop and the lack thereof. No first strike on this. I could apply it to the Youthful Valkyrie, which would make it a 2-4. So it would survive a Loch Dragon block, but basically be an even trade if they had removal. A little harder to remove it, I guess. Yeah, I think we're swinging in. I doubt they actually take the trade here. They'd much rather take the trade on the attack so they get the trigger. Would be my guess. Got Tolarian Kraken in the yard as well, so that's a nice one to get rid of. So now I could go with Serra the Benevolent on my follow-up. Can make it a 3-5 either by ticking it up or ticking it down to make the 4-4. So I think the tick down's probably worthwhile. Does mean that Serra is open to counterattacks from fairies, though. So maybe it's not correct to do that. It's all going to be decided basically on whether or not this Valkyrie survives Serapant's combat step, I think. Opponent has no removal. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go with the tick up here. Next turn, I could do the -3 and the baffling end alongside it, which should keep my Serra around. Or I could even choose to go for the emblem, and then as long as I've got a creature in play, our opponent can't win. Or they'll find it very difficult to do so. This could encourage bad attacks as well, just to keep her loyalty away from ulting. Fantastic. Alright, I'm going to make sure that the Lock Dragon dies. To the best of our ability, I suppose. Could be a combat trick involved here that gives First Strike maybe, or something like that I'm not thinking of. Don't know if First Strike would necessarily do much, but pretty good. I'll take that. No instant speed draw 2. Good, good, good. So now we have the Storyteller that can get on Serra's wings back, so we've enabled that nicely. A land would also be very nice there. Our deck doesn't have anything that's, like, kind of incapable of dying. Usually with the emblem that you see there, you want to have a card with, like, Regenerate, or, like, Hexproof and Indestructible. Something that's not able to be interacted with. So Serra is not ulting. Fists of Flame. Draw a card. Trample and +1 for each card you've drawn. That's cute. Keeps us from minusing Serra. 2 damage to each opponent. Down to 28. And a 1 damage to any target option. Well, if we're not going to draw a land, a 1-drop is the next best thing. Stick that on top. Play Segovian Angel. A little bit of a +1 boost there, and I think we're passing the turn. Could get in with Sanctifier. They block with the Arsonist. They get rid of one of my tokens as well, though. Doesn't seem necessarily all that great. In fact, we're not going to be blocking Arsonist at all for the time being. Rage Forger. Oh, goodness. Oh, you're a Shaman, and you're a Shaman? You're Baffling Endable. Damage to player or planeswalker when creatures with counters attack. It's really good. Does come at a cost. But the cost, I think, is pretty worth it for them. I've done the math on whether or not they can kill my Serra, but they can certainly do a lot of damage to my board. So I think we trade. We trade. And we trade. So Serra's going to 1. Reason I'm trading my Angel is because it's dead anyway. Perhaps I don't trade the Storyteller because I can put on Serra's wings on top of it. So instead, let's do a double block there, a chump block here. Arsonist lives, Serra lives. Storyteller gets an on Serra's wings. Though we do need to get rid of Rage Forger, maybe? Probably not, actually. If Stormcaller dies and it's just Arsonist, then it's not that much of a upside for Rage Forger being around. Just need this on Serra's wings to resolve. They know it's coming as well. They watched me put it from my graveyard on top. No, we're not drawing a land for the baffling end, plus on Serra's wings. This gives vigilance, so this is just like super duper awesome. Taking a little bit of a risk not activating Serra before that gives our opponent to respond and do some damage, but I think the potential upside of attacking for 5 here Ugh. Okay. Well, goodbye, Serra. One of the digital-only cards, Ethereal Grasp. Pretty solid, actually. Perpetually gains. This creature doesn't untap during your untap step. We can pay 8 to untap it, though. And it does have Vigilance, so once we pay that 8, Storyteller is back in play. So it's an 8-mana, 4/5 flying Vigilance lifelink. It's not bad, actually, all things considered. That is a Minotaur. As long as you've drawn 2 or more cards, it's got double strike. Fair enough. A land is okay, but not great. Eye Kite, +2/+0, as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards. So things are getting spooky. We're at 32, so we're not at a great risk of dying, and eventually we're at 6 with 2 land drops away from getting our Storyteller back online. I do think it's time to baffling end something, but what am I baffling ending? Probably the Minotaur. This attacks for 4 if they've drawn 2. They can do that for 6 mana here. So they can pretty consistently give this double strike. And that's worth a bit of removal. And then we'll do sack the Omen to scry 2. Yep, so draws, discards, triggers all the boys and girls, makes a fairy, gets closer to killing me. Be a Rage Forger trigger here as well. Alright, let's just let's do a scry now. Pacifism and a forest. So I don't want to just aggressively go after my lands, because I don't think the Storyteller on its own is going to win me a game. And I think Pacifism's maybe a bit too slow. I'd much rather have a creature. So I think we'll bottom both. Take the chance at just drawing a land anyway. But the potential upside of getting a very good card instead. Like Serra Angel, for example. That's pretty good. 4 mana, 4/4 with Vigilance and Flying. So that blocks the Eye Kite. If an opponent wants to trigger the Improbable Alliance, they've got to do a mostly full tap out. And that mostly full tap out should, in theory, prevent our opponent from being able to kill our Serra Angel if I blocked like this. Because this only gets to 3, they've got 1 mana left, they'd need like a Shock. I don't know if Shock is in Jumpstart, I think it might be. This Fist of the Flame, that was 2 mana. So for the sake of aggression, have they thrown away an Eye Kite? No, they actually do have the ability to nope, not trade off. It's only 3/2. Ah, Faithless Salvaging. That, I think, helps, right? Nope. I don't know anymore. I don't know. Opponent's attacking me with things. Oh, they applied the pump to Rage Forger. Because that's got Trample. Oh. And then they had a Fire Prophecy. Fair enough. 3 mana 2/2. It's at least a blocker. Salvaging rebounds. Discard, then draw. They had nothing to discard, so it's just a draw that triggers the Alliance. Pretty good. We're going to get rid of... At this point, I'm thinking I just get rid of Arsonist. Rageforge is only good as long as it's got a creature Shaman with a counter on it. If we get rid of that, then potential X1s are totally fine. Opponent has a static discharge though, so we take another beating. Running out of options here. And that is not an option. That puts us dead. And a little bit of overkill on top. Bit of a shame there, but pretty good game overall. On to the next one. Alrighty then, on the play, we have a hand that is curved, and so we keep it. How we choose to use this curve is to be determined. I could go for a turn 2 skirmisher, assuming that I don't draw a green source off the top. Or I could play the Alseid of Life's Bounty. I think I'll just go with the skirmisher, because the skirmisher benefits from the Alseid anyway. Maybe makes up for the damage lost. And we wouldn't have drawn a green, so I'm feeling at least a little bit justified in that. A lot of black matchups today. Opponent passes. Alright. Play on curve or get some extra damage out? I think we play on curve. So I'm going to get him for 2. I'm going to play the Outcasts. I'm going to use the Spirit side for the first time. Going wide seems relevant against a black deck that probably has like target removal. Flyers aren't really a thing that black decks do a lot. Seek a creature with the most prevalent creature type in your library. Okay. I think I'm going to get very aggressive here. I'm going to go with the Alseid to pump the Skirmisher. And I think I'm going to go with the Baffling End for the Faceless Agent, pumping the Skirmisher. And then a full-on Alpha Strike with the ability, if I so choose, to protect with Alseid. Opponent's on 11. I want to make sure that this Valkyrie is a legitimate threat. Now, if this matchup's anything like the last one with the Unearthed Archfiend, we could be in a lot of trouble if they can discard it and get to turn 5, which I think they probably could. Haunted Dead. Oh, I remember that card. That's a nostalgia trip. Yeah, it's a pretty good one as well. Laguna Band Storyteller. So let's think about this. This trades with the Spirit. Or these trade with Haunted Dead or the Spirit. Alseid is, I think, the only attack that is not worth it. Haunted Dead can come back and make another Spirit token down the line as well, so that's kind of annoying. It's a 2-mana, discard 2 cards, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Very annoying. I'm actually just going to pay the 4. Makes no difference, really. I guess it could make some difference if our opponent can exile or reanimate out of my graveyard. I guess that is an instance where it would matter. So maybe I should have just done it anyway. We have no graveyard interaction ourselves, so who knows? I don't think there's like an Unearth. Is Unearth the one where both players get to reanimate? It was left out of the original Jumpstart, and I know it's been left out of this one. Island and a 3-mana Madness Mongrel. Okay. And Rat Colony. I really didn't know Rat Colony was in this format. Alright, so the likelihood is that they block Alseid and trade spirits here. I'm just wondering whether or not I care to put Alseid back on top. I don't really think that I do. But I am kind of prepared to keep the spirit alive. Because this is a 3-turn clock, otherwise it becomes a 4-turn clock. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Protection from white. Keep my flyers. Play the Storyteller just as a 3-4. Open myself up to tasty top decks. So, 2-turn clock in the air. I won't be locking the Haunted Dead anymore. The Storyteller's basically just a deterrent. Maybe they've got bone shards or whatever. Whatever it's called. Convoke. Destroy target creature. Okay. Draw a land. I'll hold that in hand. They seem like they might be a discard deck. They are dead on board to my Valkyrie. Otherwise, we still have a 3-turn clock with the Spirit, and we can survive 3 turns of this level of beating. For now, at least. So, still like our position. Our opponent loves it as well. Very good. Alright, well, that little color combo was okay. It wasn't gelling too wonderfully together, I don't think. But got the job done. We got a Pashalik Mons, 3-mana 2/2. Whenever a Pashalik Mons or another goblin dies, deals 1 damage to any target. This is not going to be a fun card to play against when goblins rolls around. It's straight up isn't. It's basically a Siege Gang Commander, but on a smaller scale, with a death trigger. It's kind of really irritating. Really irritating. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that is gonna do it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We'll be back later on with some more historic and standard 2022 content, as well as a little bit of Brawl as well. I think once I've filled out my Jumpstart collection, we'll do some historic Brawl for sure, since we now have the permanent format open to us as a wonderful queue that we can go right into. Or at least I think we can. I'm going to double check, just in case Wizards secretly removed it. Nope, there it is. There it is. Historic Brawl. Good stuff. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. Hope you've enjoyed. Take care and have a wonderful day.